I think the best aspect of this week's episode of Little Witch Academia is looking at the fan reaction and how multiple sides say, oh, of course, this is the word, I predicted it all along, and then there's another side that says, no, the word is actually this, and then there's another side, and it's just an endless cycle of people debating on what the word truly was, and it's just hilarious. Some people are saying, I called it, it was acceptance. No, it was redemption. No, it was forgiveness. No, it was the whole part of the fact that the dream came true because of the friends and the group effort. And it's just a mass amount of people disagreeing on what the word truly was, and I find it hilarious because at the end of the day, it just truly doesn't matter. I mean, it does definitely seem like the word activated on the fact that they all kind of were together. It was more or less a group effort. They kind of accepted their dreams together. They kind of got to this point because of the help of one another. But really, who gives a shit what the final word was? It was all about that reunion at the end. But it's very funny if you look at Reddit and just different sites. So many people are saying, I called it, and then there's another side saying, no, you're completely wrong. And it's absolutely amusing. But this week's episode of Little Witch Academia more or less went in the direction I thought it would go in. I saw a lot of people last week were actually speculating that Chariot would die or something like that, and I thought that was a little weird myself because this is such a Disney level feeling. It definitely feels like there is no real sense of danger, even with the final stuff at the very end of the episode with literally like a nuke launching towards the moon. There's never really been a major sense of danger. The darkest stuff was the reveal that Chariot herself stole Akko's magic, but after that it all pretty much falls into place like a typical Disney film would. You have the arch nemesis who is trying to do things for evil ways, but she's kind of right in her own way. She isn't just wanting to destroy the world, she's just jealous of her friend. And then, of course, her friend's not going to abandon her, and she's going to protect her, even if it means at the cost of her own life. And then, of course, Akko's gonna come in and save the day with the first word that she ever learned when she was falling through the woods there, using the bow. Everything is very predictable in this series, but it's all about the execution, and I feel like this gets it right, like many Disney films do. I think a lot of people are stuck on the ways of people just immediately think that the most epic stuff is gonna be a death, like, holy hell, I never expected someone to die here. Or they just feel like when there is a sense of danger, it's always going to lead to death, but that's never what this series has been to me. It's always been a very peaceful series. Even if you go back to episode 1, I said this is a very Disney-level feeling show. There's no real sense of danger. It's just a happy-go-lucky kind of series, and that's still what this series is. Like, even with the darker aspects to the series, that's still what the series is at the core, and that's why I like it. I think the overall just episode, it was great. There was a couple of references. There was even some Star Wars references at the beginning of the episode, and it was all just building up on this fight, and then Chariot, and the overall reunion with everyone, and I thought it was just really good. I thought there was a lot of just little things for every type of fan. The action fans had their fill, the more kind of emotional and slice of life kind of people had their fill. It was just the episode that kind of brings everyone together, all the forgiveness, everyone wants to be with one another again. There's no more hatred, there's no more just anger. It's all about Akko forgiving Chariot and just accepting that even if she did something horrible to her, it wasn't intentional and she can't hate her idol for this, and she accepts the fact that ultimately she is her own person, she can't be Chariot, she needs to be her own grand witch, and that's ultimately what this series was building up to. And I really like the overall reunion and just the acceptance and love at the very end of the episode, and just everyone smiling and congratulating Akko, to then cutting back saying, oh yeah, before all this sappy stuff, I accidentally launched a nuke. Whoops. So that's gonna be pretty fun, I think, for the final episode. Trigger is known for doing their crazy space action in their final episodes in some way, shape, or form. So it's gonna be interesting how ultimately they handle this. I guess what they probably will do is it'll be a mixture of all the words is going to be how they stop this missile before it hits the moon and probably destroys it, if not the world itself. I assume Akko's going to use all the different words together, and I thought it was just entertaining seeing the fact that this magical item that is supposed to save the world, like replenish magic, is just a goddamn stick, and I love just the reaction of just, it's a stick? Well, it's a magic stick. I love it. It's so entertaining, and it's totally a Trigger thing to do, that the most powerful thing is a goddamn stick. And I like how it does become kind of badass when it merges with the shiny rod and becomes its own thing, but it was just hilarious watching the reaction of all the different characters being like, it's a stick. No, it's a magic stick. The episode was just great. It wasn't the overall best episode. I think the best episode still has to be just the reveal that Chariot took Akko's magic. But these final few episodes for this season has been amazing and kicks all the other episodes' asses. Just overall, Trigger has been building up to a grand finale, and that's exactly what we're getting here, and episode 25 is going to be a killer ending. Absolutely. They just always do something crazy with space, and I absolutely love it. I thought this was just a sweet episode. It was heartwarming, and I like the fact that Chariot, you know, even though it's so cliche and typical, it's just the execution of Chariot not abandoning her friend and risking her own life for her. I thought it was really nice, and it's going to be interesting to see how that missile is going to play a factor in next week's episode. If they're going to somehow introduce more mechs or something like that, I wouldn't put it past Trigger. But the episode was great. I think just overall, it had everything that it needed to do. It was very predictable, but it was all about that execution, and I think it did it brilliantly. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What was your favorite moment in the episode? My personal favorite is just the reveal of just that this grand magic item is actually a stick. Like, the reunion with Chariot and Akko was heartwarming and sweet, but just that stick cracked me the hell up, and I just thought the overall animation when they actually were using that stick to kind of like rejuvenate this like force that was just kind of depleted and dead, it looked beautiful. But I mean, it's Trigger. As always, the art and animation looks pretty good with this series. Let me know your favorite moment down in the comment section below. And before you leave, smack that like button, show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.